Hey guys and gals, friends of YouTube, Love to Fly Helis here. I know it's been quite a while since I started this project, but man, I have just not had any time to do anything, hardly. But we're going to try to finish up this Great Plains Rifle 1M. I have a big fun fly next Saturday and kind of hoping to do the maiden there if the weather's decent, so we'll see. But anyway, and the first segment we mounted the motor and the ESC, got that all in there, and now we're going to start on the elevator and the wing. There's really not that much left, so let's see what we can get accomplished on this thing. Alright, we are to the elevator rod, and it says to take fine sandpaper or steel wool, and since I don't know where my steel wool is, we're gonna fine sandpaper this rod all the way up and down. This is to take off any oxidation or burrs or anything that might be on the wire that can cause it to bind up in the tube. It's pretty flexible wire because it has to bend up through the vertical fin. So, alright, we got that done. Now it says to make sure it fits through the control horn. It does. It's a little control horn that'll glue on the elevator. So we'll set that aside. Now we're going to run this inside here through the tube. It goes out the back, and it will come out the tail end like that, sticking upward, because it's a T-tail that mounts on top. Pretty smooth, doesn't feel like much binding. I actually have to rotate this around though. I guess, looks like I'm going to need the servo. So, let's get the servo out of here. I've got the Hi-Tech TSX10 digital Metal Gear servos I'm using in this. So, come on, get the little baggie open here, dump our parts out, and we are going to use that little arm, the shorter one, because this thing doesn't need a whole lot of throw. We don't need the others. We don't need the screws that mount it, because this servo glues to the bottom of the fuselage. So we do need the metal screw, however, for the servo horn. Now, let's turn our radio on. This servo will lay, let's see, okay, it's going to lay in there with the horn toward the front. So what we want to do is hook it up and make sure it's centered where we put our doggone it, our servo horn on. Man, I can't talk today. I'm tongue-tied here. Now, let's see. This is, let's see what this, okay, I don't need that white wire. I can't remember what that's for, but, so the throttle will go to channel 3. Your negative or black or brown wire will go to the bottom here. Now, let's hook this to elevator, which will be number 2. Rudder's number 4. Okay. Radio's on. Throttle trim all the way down. Everything's forward. It's on the right model. Let's plug this dude in. Okay, let's see if we need to reverse it. Arm will push back, it'll push the rod up. Nope, it's in the right direction. Okay, now that we've got the power on, what you want to do is fit your servo arm and try to get it as close to 90 as you can with the splines, which, well, this has to go a certain direction, so it's not like we have a choice. But if you have a 4-arm one that has 4 arms, you can cut them off, then you can try it until you get the one that goes straight up and down. But this one fits pretty darn good. Now, we are going to put some Loctite on this screw, because this is a metal gear servo with a metal screw. So we've got to use Loctite on this to keep this from coming loose. We don't want to cross thread it. Tighten that down good. Working real good, no binding. Okay, now let's see. May have to drill this out. Oh yeah. Okay. Let me figure out which hole. So use a servo arm that has hole 6 millimeter, 8 millimeters out. So let's get our ruler out from the center. 6 to 8. We're going to go to that third hole in. That will be, double check that, and that'll be 6. Yeah, that's, hang on a minute. Yeah, that's 6 millimeters. It says 6 to 8. So if we went to the next to the last out, it'd be 8. Let's try the 8 first, just in case we need to move it in. So we will clip off that end right there so we don't get mixed up. Now, let me get a drill bit. Slightly bigger than the wire, and then we're going to take a piece of wood and we're going to brace it on there to drill this hole. So I'm going to go ahead and drill both of these just in case I need to use the other one. Okay, so 6 will be that one right there. This is an extremely fast plane, so it doesn't need a whole lot of throw to make it very volatile in the air. It can get fast real quick and get small real quick and disappear on you, so you got to be careful. Alright, now that fits pretty good. I'm going to start out with that 6 because I don't want real heavy throws on this thing. Okay, now what we're going to do, let's feed that through that tube. And actually, it says to put a little bit of oil in the tube. So we're going to start back here. I'm going to put just a little drop or 2 of gun oil in that and let it run down through there. And then I'm also going to take on this end and drop just a tiny bit, 1 or 2 drops in there. Okay, and we'll let that run through the tube. Alright, now let's lay it back down and everything, our wires where they're not tangled up. Okay. Alright. Just wonder, servo doesn't fit completely flat on the bottom. I'm wondering if I shouldn't glue a little piece of wood to it and then glue the wood to the bottom of the fuselage, because it sure doesn't fit flush down there. So I'm wondering if I shouldn't take a little piece of this and glue it on there. Let's see here. Let's see about how wide I need it. Approximately right there. Got this with a razor knife. It's just a real thin ply. Okay. Get my sanding block. I don't know. Let's see what we got here. There we go. Like that. Probably don't want it any wider than it has to be, because it's kind of slightly rounded on the bottom. So I'm going to take that down a little bit thinner. Okay, and then this side toward the control horn will be closest to center. So I'm going to glue that little dude right there to that side. It says to use the Zap Goo to glue it to the floor, but I may use epoxy to glue this to the wood, so the wood stays on there good. But that will raise it up off of the floor of the belly and where it sets more flat, because the servo is wide enough that it the edges hit where the curvature is. So it doesn't say to do this in the manual, but I'm going to glue this little piece of wood on the bottom of this so it will, because there is a flat spot right in the center, but the servo is just wide enough that it kind of hits on the edges, so this will raise it up enough, and I think that'll glue right in the middle. So let me get this glued on to the servo, and I will be back in just a moment. Okay, I've got the wood glued on to the servo. It's just about set. So that should give me a little bit of a lift on the bottom there to glue that in when I get ready. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to glue the control horn into the elevator I'm sorry. Let's see, we just need a tiny bit of epoxy. Probably could do it with CA, but I'm going to do it with epoxy. I don't trust CA. So tiny little bit of each. There we go. Now let's smear that together really good. I want a good mixture on it. Okay. Put just a little bit in between there. A little bit up here on the edge. We'll clean this with alcohol here in a minute. Okay, I'll set that over there so I don't get my arm in it. Now, I've already test fitted this, so I'm going to stick that in there. It'll go flush with the back of the elevator halves. And then I push the front end of it down to where it contacts good. We want that glued good and solid. Okay. Okay, and then we're going to look at the back and make sure that our elevator halves are exactly the same on each side. Okay. Now, let me get a little paper towel here. Get any glue off of the surface we don't want showing. Okay. Looks like we're good to go. We'll let that dry for 5 minutes or so. Okay. Now, while we're waiting on that, we got to put a piece of Velcro, the rigid side, the hard side, in the bottom, and it shows to put it inside here and leave about an inch sticking back past this black reinforcement. So we're gonna hopefully get that back in there without it dropping down there and sticking before we're ready for it to. Okay, right in the middle. Put the finger back in there and press that down good. Now it says to take thin CA glue and run around the edge of that. So that's what we're going to do as soon as I get this unstopped. This doggone stuff stops up easier than anything I've ever seen. There we go. Let me get a tip out. And I'm going to use this really long one that I get from the hobby shop so I can get back in there. Alright, we're going to turn this up. Camera up a little bit for you. We're going to, oh man, my ESC has come loose from the sticky up in there. That's not good. Well, shoot. I wonder. Stuck it with some double-sided, but apparently it's come loose in there. I wonder if I can't get some around it too. Let me do this first. Alright, why are we not getting... Gosh, dang it. This stupid thing. They are the doggonedest plugging up things I have ever seen. And then getting it unstopped, you get it all over your fingers and everywhere else. Let's try that now. There we go. I'm just going to let that wick down beside that, like they said to. Apparently that'll keep that from pulling off when you pull your battery off. Now, what I want to do is try to get in there, but I can't see it. To put some around my ESC glue, that sticky. I can kind of see it right here. So I'm going to put that up in there. I think I got something squeezed out. Can't tell. I can only see it with one eyeball. Hopefully I got on it. Okay. Well, that super glue will knock you out breathing it. Ugh. Okay, we're done with that for now. So these are disposable tips. We'll put the main cap back on it after I clean the tip off. Put it up. Alright, now let's see. Okay, our glue should be dry on here. Let's pull this around here. Hook our rod back to it. We're going to go with a 6mm hole. Alright, now get our cords. I'm going to stuff them up in there out of the way for right now. Okay, now we want our servo in alignment. That piece of wood's going to work great. Now we want it to, let's see, where did it show that at? Right here, 1.5 inches of wire sticking out of the tube where the wire goes back there. So let me get down in there, see if I can sort of kind of measure that. inch and a half, or 40 millimeters. And, well, can't get my right side of my ruler in there. So there's, I need to go forward just a hair. Okay, come on. Get my ruler in there. There we go. There's an inch and a half right there. Now, need my marker, and we need to go back here to this wire. Excuse me. And we need to mark. Let's see, once your servo put in, you want to cut the other end of the push rod protruding from the vertical stabilizer to 1 inch. Alright, we got to cut it off to 1 inch. So, let's put a ruler on there and mark it with a Sharpie. Okay, we do not want to mess this up, even though I think I do have extra push rods over there. Okay. Aha! I get to use my handy dandy little Knipex mini bolt cutters that my buddy Jason sent me. Thank you so much, Jason. Man, I can snap these wires now and it don't hurt my hands at all. I love it. This is actually the first time I've used it. I haven't been building anything. Alright, cut it right on the line. Boy, that was like cutting through hot butter, buddy. Man, awesome. You are the best, my friend. Okay, now, let's see. Remove the push rod servo assembly from the fuselage and deburr it again. Tin film oil, push rod, reinstall fuselage. With the elevator servo laid flat on the bottom of the fuselage, make a sharp 90-degree bend to the left, a 1/4 inch from the end. So, let's mark it again. So, alright, there's 1/4. Okay, well, it looks like it's awful close, but I guess not. The second bend, let's see what we got here. Move stabilizer and disconnect push rod, make additional bend back, amount to stabilizer. You can adjust the angle of the bend as necessary until the elevator moves smoothly. Okay, if for some reason you ever need to get a new elevator push rod, one can be made from Cadence. Okay, well, alright, I don't have Z-bend pliers, but I do have these handy dandy little 3-prong, which basically do the same thing from my dental practice where I work, my dental lab. And we're going to make, man, that just seems awful short to me. That's what they're saying. Okay, we're going to go by the book. We're going to make a 90-degree bend. Right there. See if my servo's still laying flat. Okay. Now, it says to hook that on there. And put that, bolt that on. Okay, we're going to have to test it, so we're going to hook the battery up. Get the cords back out of here. Alright, let me turn my radio on. We do not want to forget to do that. Arm this little dude. Let's get our screws out of here. Oh, come on. Doggone it. Okay. We're not going to Loctite these at this time because we may need to take this back off. make another bend in it. So we're going to put that on there. And we're going to put screws in her. Let me get where's my screwdriver? There it is. It's temporary for right now. There, it finally took straight. Cool. Alright, let's put that second one in there. Like I said, we're not going to Loctite them at this time. Oh, be careful. Break it. But we do want to cinch it down where the elevator doesn't move. Well, that one fits tight. Man. I guess that's a good thing. They don't come off. Okay, those are good and snug. Tail looks to be pretty level. I guess if it's not, you have to sand the top of that, but it looks level. Okay, now let's get this over here. Hold our servo down. Alright, let's unhook it. Let's do it by hand. Well, it says to get it smooth as you can, but I guess that's smooth. I don't know. Let's see what this. Says you can make another bend back here if you need it more to the back, but it looks to me like it's lining up straight. That's probably as smooth as it's going to get. So I think I'll leave it alone. Okay. Now, when we got all that, get this all untangled out of here. Goodness. What am I? Okay. I got it between the battery wires. How in the world did that one get? Alright. My ESC is still loose. Man, that just bugs me. I don't know what to do about that. I put it in there like they said, but it's come loose. Bad thing is I can't get to it to put new stuff on it now. Let's see what we got. It's Velcro. Yeah, but it looks like the back side of the Velcro has come loose. Tell you what, I'm going to mix up a little epoxy and stick in there with a stick and put on that sticky side of that Velcro. I can reach it with this. Let me do that and I'll be right back. Okay guys, got my ESC back up in there good and tight. So now we've got our elevator where we want it. We're going to make sure it's centered, and we're going to glue the servo in the belly of the fuselage. So let me get this open up. I may have to unstop it too. It's hard to squeeze out of here. Cut this off a little bit more. It looks like it's plugged up as well. Maybe not. This stuff is oh, it's not really an epoxy. It's rubbery. It firms up pretty rigid, but yet it's still rubbery enough that if you have to get your servo loose at some point to replace it, then you can get it out. So it dries firm, but a little bit gooey. I mean, kind of rubbery. So, all right. It says to really, so I can get this stuff coming out of here. I had trouble the other day getting it. All right. See what's going on here. This tip is just, for whatever reason, we're going to take it off. Okay. We're going to coat this dude really good. It says to put plenty on here to where it'll squeeze out of the sides of the servo. So we're going to put it all over this little booger. Big old blob. Okay. It will kind of string on you, but you can get it off. Alright, now we got to roll our servo over without getting this all over me. And then we're going to make sure our elevator is centered back here, level. And it says you do not need to put any kind of clamp on this. It says just to push it down in the glue. Let it squish out all around it. And let it set overnight. So, we're going to have to, I'm going to let it sit for a few hours. And then I'll go ahead and work on the ailerons here in a little bit, but we just won't be sure not touch the stick on the radio to move the elevator until this hardens good. Now, after this does harden good tomorrow, then I will take the screws out of the elevator back here and I will put Loctite on them and remount it. And plus, I want to get the wing on here to double check the level of this. I may have to do a little bit of sanding. It looks level just looking at it, but once you get the wing on here, that way you can make sure it's level with the wing. So we don't want to Loctite that until we get the wing mounted, so we can see if we need to sand the top of this or not. So anyway, I'm going to take a break for a little while and let this glue start setting up, and I will be back in a little bit and we'll work on the ailerons and get the wing ready. And then tomorrow all I have to do is, like I say, take these out, finish tapping them up with the Loctite, and put the battery in it and balance it. And we'll be ready to go. So, be back in just a bit, guys. Hey guys, while we are waiting on our elevator servo to dry, we'll go ahead and work on the wing and get the ailerons set up in that. So first thing we're going to do is glue in our control horns, and I've already sanded those. What I do need to do is take a piece of sandpaper and go inside the groove and sand those. Get a fresh piece here. I just fold a piece over, stick down in there, and work it back and forth. Be sure and blow all the dust out of it. Also, you want to take a piece of light sandpaper and sand the flat inside here so your goo glue will stick to that good. Okay, we're going to glue the control horns on with epoxy. Let them set. Come on. Won't take much. Oh. Come on. Here we go. Alright, let's get that mixed up. Got a new stick here. Always be sure you mix your epoxy really, really well. You don't want to not get it mixed good, for the hardener doesn't harden good. You don't want a control horn coming loose for sure. Alright, I'm going to try to get a little bit down in the groove. We'll clean this off with alcohol. Now when you glue these on, you want glue on the bottom of it and along both sides. When you glue these in, make sure you slide it up to the right distance to get your center line of your holes. You want your center line of your holes even with the center line of your control surface. It's So we're going to stick that down in there and slide it forward until we get that centered up. And there we go. Perfect. And you know, there's a little excess glue around the edge, but that's going to be on the bottom. I'm going to leave that. It's just extra strength to hold that. So I'm going to leave that the way it is. So let's put just a little bit in the groove. And we'll put some on both sides of this, a little on each side, some on the bottom. Some of it's going to squish out, but like I said, that's just a little extra, so we're going to leave that. Alright, that needs to go back just a hair. It's weird, this one don't want to, the other one just snapped right down in there tight. This one wants to spring up. So, I think I'm going to put a small clamp, if I can, over that. If it doesn't throw it off center. Well, I don't know, that's not going to, I may have to put some tape. Tell you what, I think I'll just sit here and hold it. How about that? Let me get this glue dried on these. I'm using 6-minute epoxy, and then we'll be right back. Okay, got those glued in. While we're letting them dry, we'll work on the linkage rods. Let's see, 1 7/8 or 48 millimeters long. Let's use a millimeter. Mark the end of it. Mark that at 48. Get my handy dandy cutters out again. Now you're going to want to hang on to this. Whoops, wait a minute. Wait, I about screwed up. No, 3 inches. Sorry. 1 7/8 is after you get done with the bend. I about screwed up. 3 inches long is what we, or 75 millimeters. So let's mark the 3 inch. Let's cut that one right on the mark. Okay, let's mark another one. Okay. Cut that one right on the line. Man, I love these cutters. God, that's so freaking awesome. I can't thank my buddy enough for sending me those. Okay. Now, let's see. Okay. Well, I wish it told how much from the end. Okay, cut 1 3 include. Use a felt pen to accurately mark the lines where 1 7/8 48 millimeters apart. Well, I guess we have to find the center of this. Okay, let's go millimeters. Be easier. Maybe not. Okay, it's 3 inches, so 1 1/2 would be the center. Excuse me. My gosh, I've had this stupid cough for over a year now. I've been trying to figure out what's causing it. I think it's some of my medication, but anyway. Sorry. Let's see. So 1 7/8, or let's see, 48 millimeters. So 48. So it'll be 24. Would be the center. Let's line that up. And there's 5, 10, 15, 20, 24. Okay, now we can just use that one to lay this one up against it and get our marks. Okay. Now, what that bend's going to be is the first bend goes out, and you got to be careful. You got to get these parallel. So we're going to bend that one that direction, and we're going to bend this one that direction, but we want to eyeball our wire and make sure we've got it parallel. So when you look at them, we can twist this just a little. There we go. Alright, got it good and straight. So, and then we got to make a bend outward. Oh, this is going to be fun without bending my other one back. I'm going to have to get me a set of Z-bend pliers. Let me see if I can finish this up. I'm going to try to make the second bend without messing up my first bend. There we go. Just a bigger bite on the pliers. And then we'll straighten that out just a little. There is no adjustment on this, so what you'll end up doing, but you'll glue your servo down to where your aileron is centered, and then you can trim it, fine trim it with that. So alright, we're going to cut just a little bit of excess off of here. We don't need that much. Now this one, we need to start our bend in the same place. Make that one go back a little. Alright. I got a little bit of a rough spot there. Take that burr off of it. That'll eat into the control horn. And if I can hold it with this. Okay, got the burr off of it. Now, straighten it up. Alright, our wire's all level, everything now, so cut that end off just a tiny bit. There we go. Let's do the other one. Okay, opposite direction. Get it on the center. Make sure we're parallel. Oh, look at there, pretty close, just barely off. Okay, now do the same thing here. Start our bend out that way. That was pretty level. Start our bend out this way. Wow, got that in level right off the bat. Now, I'm going to take my sander and get that burr off of there again. Can't believe I've been flying building for 8 years and I have never bought me a pair of Z-bend pliers. Normally I don't use Z-bends. I use quick links or quick connects and stuff. But on this particular plane, especially like the elevator servo, there's no way to use a quick connect in there because you got to glue it in the base of the plane, the bottom of the belly. Well, then you can't get in there to tighten your set nut down, so you can't use it on this type of setup. So I'm having to use Z-bends. Alright, I'm going to cut them off a little. Don't need them that long. Alrighty. Take that one back just a hair. Good to go. All level. Almost. Get a hold of it with this other plier. We're going to twist it just a hair. There we go. They should be pretty close to identical. Hopefully. Alright, hope they work. We'll see here in a minute. Alright, let's get our other servos out. And get the goodies out of here. Put that in the trash. Let's see which arm it shows. How many millimeters. Same. Okay, same as the elevator. So 6 millimeters out. So let's dump this all out. Keep that one. Those 2 screws. I'll throw this in my servo drawer and keep them for spares or whatever. Alright, now we got to drill out these holes. Let me get my piece of wood back out. Find my drill. And let's see. I believe, where'd my ruler go? There it is. Let me measure. See what we got here. Yeah, that's 6 millimeters. Okay. I'm going to clip off this one little end right here. Now, what we need to do on this is hook the battery up. Turn the radio on. Don't want to forget that. We do not want the motor powering up on us. I need to take that prop back off. That's what I need to do. Okay. Now, let's see how these are going to lay in the wing. Well, I guess we'll test it. How about this? Let's get the wing over here. Put the servo horn on it just for a minute. And let's see where our linkage comes to. Looks like it's going to go to the back. Okay. Put that in there. Yeah, it's going to lay toward the back. So you want to be sure where you lay these down at before you mount all your hardware on there and everything. Okay, trim that sharp edge off of there. Now, let's get our Loctite out. Put this in here. We are going to use separate channels, which that's what it recommends in the book. Well, you know what? I gotta hook this up before I Loctite that. Gosh darn it. Alright, radio's on, that's on. Okay, something. There we go. Okay, we don't want to touch that elevator. We don't want that thing moving. Alright, now, gently, we're going to plug this into channel 1, which will be the right aileron. And that's about as close as we're going to get it on a 90 degrees, so go ahead and tighten that down. I got my Loctite on it. Alright, we'll go into our radio and servo set, sub trim, channel 1. .90 There we go. That one's all ready. Now this will be the right one. I'm going to mark that with my Sharpie. Put a black line on it so I know that goes in the right side, which my wing's upside down, so it does go right here. No, it goes right here. Duh. Alright. Now with that on, let's see. It'll go to the back. Oh, gosh darn it. I'll set this one up for the other side. Okay, hang on a minute. Alright, the mark will be the left hand side. Let me get the other one out and set it up for this. What I was thinking there. I don't want to take that servo horn back off. Is the only reason I'm changing it, because I've already got it Loctited on. So, that, we don't need that or that. Okay. Now, and actually I'm going to have to go in, piggyback a channel for this to get it set up for a second aileron. So let me do that, because I may have to get my manual out. I'm not exactly sure on this. Well, maybe, hang on, channel 5 assignment. Okay, left aileron, control. Uh-oh. Okay, that did something weird. I'm making my elevator work. Alright, I'm going to have to get my manual out and figure out how to program this other channel. I know how to do it in my JR, but I'm not real sure in this tactic. So let me do that, and then we'll come back and mount these up. Okay, did a little remodeling here. Not really remodeling. I figured out that on my aileron servos I could use a quick link, which I really like. So I redid my linkage, because I can fine tune it with that screw, and I can glue my servos in exactly the same. So I like that idea a lot better, and it's not going to put any extra weight or anything on it. So anyway, I've got my linkage all hooked up, so, and my wires run through here and they'll come out, and I'm going to color code the tips of these with heat shrink. I'll do that in just a second. But right now we are going to cover this little dude with Zap Goo Glue. Glue her in, just like we did the elevator, and then we'll let these set overnight. It says to put plenty on there where it squishes out, so we're going to coat it good. Big old blob. Okay, Now let me put my rod through here. Pull the wire up snug. There we go. Alright. Now, we can just let that set. Let's do the same thing to the other one. Put the goo all over the bottom of it. And remember, you want to use this zap goo, so if you have to replace a servo, if you strip a gear or whatever reason, you need to change it out. You can get these out. If you use epoxy, you're going to have a heck of a time getting them out of there. Alright, so we're going to stick that one down, just like the other side. Push them up against there. And we'll let them set. And then we'll put the little tray covers on tomorrow after we get everything else set. It's going to hit right back here a little bit, but we tape these down so it's not going to hurt anything. And I don't have to put a clamp on here because I will set this aileron with the set screw after these dry good. And what do I do? That glue. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and probably end this segment here, and I'll do a part 3 of finishing this up and mounting the wing and balancing it, because that's all we like. So we're going to end this one before it gets too awful long, and we will be back for part 3 really soon. Thanks for watching, guys.